in Temple Town in the 580. I became a woman at 11. The bathroom stall walls witnessed my rites of passage. My panties painted the evidence. It looked like an injury of squashed cherries. I thought I had scratched myself.
When the blood stained my panties for the first time and seeped through my jeans, I was 12. And I knew that this was the closest I would ever feel to God, that in the shedding of blood, I could bring forth life. My womb now ripe for the sowing, I knew I was a woman.
This was the first time I ever felt ashamed. When I came out the bathroom's holy sanctums, my grandma told me not to have sex until I was 93. I had not developed breasts yet, but I did develop danger and fright at the sound of syllables that spelled S-E-X.
I rushed home with a sweatshirt wrapped around my waist. I rolled my bloodied ensemble into a ball. I buried it like a tiny corpse in the back of my closet, but like the telltale heart, it boomed and clacked until my mother dug it up. All she said was, "So you're bleeding now."
In middle school, pads felt like fungi in my 6th grade fingers.
I wore 2 pairs of panties for 2 years until I learned how to use a tampon.
Girl children do not bleed like women.
I walked like I was trying to keep my ovaries from falling out, and I was always afraid that people could smell my womanhood spilling out of me.
When I went to St. Mary's High School, I was still a virgin. I didn't want to contract the virus that swelled bellies big with the weight of a human soul. The Virgin Mary conceived Jesus without her cherry being popped.
My mother had her first child when she was 16. My sister had her first child when she was 16, so I thought on my 16th birthday, my belly would bloom, watermelons swell. My father told me that pregnancy would be the end of my life, so I began to fear sex and worship the sight of blood each month.
21 was the first time I took the morning after pill and the first time I prayed for menstrual blood. When the blood came 1 week early, it was an anniversary of smiles. I did not love the man, even swore to myself never to let it happen again.
The first time the blood didn't come, I crawled inside of myself to see what he left behind. A bloody nest perched in the walls of my uterus held a soul with a heart that fluttered like a hummingbird. I bartered with the sun and the earth, begged for the blood to shed and return this life to dust.
I'm 23 and in love with a man, so promises to self become broken. I took my 4th morning after pill at the start of April, and my 5th at the end of April. It felt spring showers flooding my eyes after my strength exploded into confetti. My period came 3 weeks early. As I flushed the blood from my womb down the toilet, I pondered, is this what a soul looks like?
My womb became a tomb lined with gold. I became the god of my body and recognized that I had the power to build civilizations or leave cities in ruins. Now I knew why women were worshipped as goddess and burned at the stake as witch. There was too much blood. There was too much
In the
power.
swirl of blood and water, I saw the Virgin Mary with pregnant belly glowing. I was awed by immaculate conception, for I saw God, and she was woman.
This was the first time I knew
That my body was a vessel